Disclaimer: this program contains graphic descriptions of real crimes. Viewer discretion is advised. All parties are presumed innocent until proven guilty in court. A respected high school teacher, a picture-perfect family. A husband found dead in his own bedroom. But here's the twist: she wasn't just accused, she was convicted, and the evidence, it didn't add up, at least not at first. This wasn't just another tragic domestic dispute. This was a case that stunned an entire community because the killer was the woman everyone thought they could trust. Rebecca Harris was 35, a popular English teacher. She spent her days quoting Shakespeare, inspiring students, and organizing after-school clubs. Her husband, Daniel, was 38, a quiet, hard-working father of two. Everyone said he lived for his family. Together, they looked like the perfect couple, but behind that perfect image, secrets were eating away at their marriage, because Rebecca was living a double life. A life no one saw coming. Daniel noticed it first: the late nights, the whispered phone calls, the sudden work meetings that never made sense, then the lies. According to his best friend, Daniel once sent a chilling message: "If anything happens to me, just know it wasn't random." And soon that message would become prophecy. September 12th, 2023. Rebecca calls 911.
It's my husband. He's not breathing. Hurry. It's my husband. He's not breathing. Please hurry. Please hurry.
Paramedics rush in. Daniel is on the floor,
Please
unresponsive. Hurry. Rebecca says he had chest pains, a sudden collapse, a tragedy, but the first responders notice something Rebecca doesn't expect.
Bruises.
Marks around Daniel's
around
neck.
His neck.
Bruises that tell a different story.
That's not heart failure.
A heart attack.
That's strangulation.
Strangulation. From that moment on, Rebecca's story unravels. Police body cam footage shows Rebecca strangely calm. Too calm. Instead of panicking, she crosses her arms. She barely reacts. "Officer, did you try CPR?" "Rebecca, I tried, but it was too late." But here's the thing. There were no signs of CPR, no disturbed bedding, no effort to save him. And when police search the room, they find Daniel's phone hidden under the bed. On it, a text message from Rebecca to her lover. "He confronted me again. I can't let him ruin this. Tonight it ends." That single text flips the case on its head. They bring Rebecca in for questioning. At first, she sticks to her story. "Detective,
your husband didn't die naturally. There are marks on his neck."
No, he collapsed. He was yelling at me and then he just fell.
But under pressure, she cracks. Her voice changes. Her story. "He came at me first. He grabbed me. I pushed him back. I didn't mean for this to happen. But detectives know better. The texts prove intent. This wasn't self-defense. This was murder." And here's where the scandal truly begins. Rebecca wasn't just hiding an affair. She was planning a new life. Prosecutors revealed dozens of secret messages between Rebecca and her colleague at the high school. One stood out.
"Soon, it'll just be you and me."
It wasn't just betrayal,
No more
it was
secrets.
motive. The jury saw it, and they couldn't look away. The courtroom was packed. Parents, students, reporters. Rebecca, the teacher who once inspired her class, now sat accused of killing her husband. The defense argued Daniel was abusive, that Rebecca acted in fear, but prosecutors had the texts, the planning, the motive, and then came the twist. Rebecca's lover, the other teacher, took the stand, and what he revealed changed everything. He admitted, he knew Rebecca was planning something, and he never stopped her. Some even believed. He encouraged it. Was Rebecca truly the mastermind, or was she manipulated into murder by the man she thought loved her? That's where this story takes its darkest turn. And we uncover the shocking betrayal inside the betrayal. We uncovered the shocking death of Daniel Harris, a husband who warned friends that if something happened to him, it wouldn't be random. His wife, Rebecca, a respected teacher, was accused of strangling him after her secret affair came to light, but as the trial unfolded, another player stepped into the spotlight, Rebecca's lover, and what he revealed turned the case upside down. The courtroom held its breath as Jason Miller, a fellow teacher and Rebecca's secret lover, took the stand. At first, he tried to distance himself. He claimed their relationship was only emotional, that he had no idea Rebecca would harm her husband, but then prosecutors revealed the messages. On-screen text reenacted, "If he finds out, I'll take care of it. Do you really mean that? Yes. Then we can finally be together." The jury gasped. Jason wasn't just a bystander. He was part of the conversation. Part of the plan. Under cross-examination, Jason broke down. He admitted Rebecca confided in him, that she hinted at ending her marriage permanently. But here's the twist. Jason claimed he thought she was joking. He told the court, "I didn't think she'd actually do it. I thought it was just talk." But the text told a darker truth. He never tried to stop her. He never warned Daniel. Instead, he stayed silent, and Daniel paid the price. Rebecca's defense team fought back. They painted her as a woman manipulated. They argued Jason was the instigator, the puppeteer. Rebecca's lawyer told the jury she was desperate, she was vulnerable. He pushed her into believing this was the only way. The courtroom became a battlefield. On one side, prosecutors holding up every damning text. On the other, Rebecca's team pointing to Jason as the hidden villain. And in the middle, a jury trying to decide who was truly guilty. Finally, Rebecca herself took the stand. Her voice was shaking. Tears streamed down her face as she confessed to the affair, the lies, and the fight on the night Daniel died. But then she dropped a bombshell. She claimed Jason wasn't just her lover. He was her accomplice. She testified, "He told me to do it. He said it was the only way we could be together." The courtroom erupted. Jason's head dropped. The jury shifted uncomfortably. Had Rebecca just confessed? Or had she just dragged her lover down with her? After weeks of testimony, the jury delivered their decision. Rebecca Harris guilty of second-degree murder, 32 years in prison, but Jason Miller. He walked free, no charges, no prison sentence. The public was outraged. Some believed Jason manipulated Rebecca into murder. Others saw her as the mastermind. Either way, Daniel Harris was dead, and justice felt incomplete. But here's the thing. This story isn't over, because months after Rebecca's sentencing, Jason was caught in another scandal. A scandal that made people ask, was Rebecca really the only guilty one? And we uncover the disturbing secrets that still surround this case. 6 months after Rebecca's sentencing, Jason Miller was back in the headlines, not for teaching, not for moving on, but for a scandal of his own. Multiple women came forward, colleagues, former students, parents. They accused Jason of manipulation, inappropriate relationships, and disturbing behavior that had been buried by the school for years. Suddenly, prosecutors faced a haunting question. Had they let the true manipulator walk free? Investigators dug into Jason's past. They found a disturbing trail. Former partners described him as controlling, charismatic in public, cruel in private. One woman revealed a chilling detail. She said Jason once told her, "If anyone gets in the way, I'll make sure they disappear." Sound familiar? It was the same language Rebecca used before Daniel's murder. Was she echoing Jason's influence all along? From inside prison, Rebecca made a move no one expected. She filed an appeal. In a letter to the court, she claimed Jason manipulated her, that he convinced her to kill Daniel, that he promised her freedom, love, and a new life. Her words, "I was never the mastermind. I was the weapon he used." The appeal was denied, but it reignited public outrage. Because if what Rebecca said was true, Jason had escaped justice. The media exploded. Talk shows, podcasts, true crime forums, everyone debated the same question. Was Rebecca Harris a cold-blooded killer, or was she just another victim of Jason Miller's control? The case split the public down the middle, and while Rebecca sat behind bars, Jason stayed silent. No interviews, no statements, no apology, but then a final twist. Nearly a year after Rebecca's conviction, a sealed police report leaked online. Inside, a detail no one expected. The night Daniel was killed, Jason's phone pinged near the Harris home. He swore under oath he wasn't there, but the data said otherwise, meaning Jason may not just have known. He may have been there when Daniel died. This is Murder Book 360, where we uncover the scandals, betrayals, and murders that shock entire communities. Subscribe now, so you never miss another case. Earlier on, Daniel Harris predicted his own death. Feather, Rebecca Harris, was convicted for his murder while her secret lover, Jason Miller, walked free. Jason's past came back to haunt him with chilling accusations and a leaked police report showing his phone near the Harris home the night Daniel died. Now, the pressure builds and the fight for the truth takes a shocking new turn. Following the leak, police were forced to address questions about Jason's possible involvement. Reporters swarmed the courthouse. Was Jason Miller protected? Why wasn't he charged? Authorities insisted they had no grounds for prosecution, but the public wasn't convinced, and neither was Daniel's family. They demanded answers. They demanded justice from inside prison. Rebecca refused to stay silent. She filed another appeal, but this time she named Jason directly. Her new affidavit claimed, Jason was there that night. He told me to finish it. He promised we'd be together. Her attorneys argued that if Jason's phone date placed him near the crime scene, the entire case had to be re-examined. For the first time, prosecutors admitted they might have missed something. The story exploded across media outlets, podcasts, documentaries, online sleuths. Everyone wanted to know, was Jason Miller the true puppet master? And then a former student's parent came forward with a stunning revelation. She claimed Jason once bragged that he had a woman willing to do anything for him, even something unthinkable. Could he have been talking about Rebecca, or was it just coincidence? Jason finally broke his silence. Cornered by reporters outside his home, he insisted, I had nothing to do with Daniel's death. Rebecca acted alone. But when asked why his phone pinged near the Harris home that night, he had no answer. His silence only fueled more speculation. Now, nearly 2 years after Daniel's death, the case stands on a knife's edge. Rebecca Harris sits in prison, fighting for her freedom. Jason Miller lives free but under a cloud of suspicion, and Daniel's family still waiting for justice. But here's the chilling question. If Jason really was there that night, what role did he play, and is it possible the real story of Daniel Harris's murder hasn't even been told yet? Jason Miller finally broke his silence, denying any role in Daniel Harris's death, but failing to explain why his phone was pinged near the crime scene. Now a judge has ruled the case must return to court, and this time both Rebecca and Jason are on trial in the court of public opinion. Rebecca Harris's legal team argued new evidence was enough to reopen the case. And for the first time, Jason Miller was subpoenaed to testify. The courtroom was electric. Reporters packed the benches. Daniel's family sat silently in the front row, waiting for answers they'd been denied for nearly 3 years. Jason looked calm at first, but prosecutors came armed with phone records, witness statements, and damning inconsistencies. One attorney pressed him, if you weren't at the Harris home that night, why did your phone ping on the same tower as Rebecca's? Jason hesitated, then said quietly, I was nearby, but I never went inside. Gasps echoed across the room. Rebecca seized the moment. From the defense table, she scribbled a note to her attorney. Her lawyer rose and declared, my client has nothing left to lose. Jason Miller was not just nearby, he orchestrated this murder. The courtroom erupted. Jason's attorney objected, but the seed was planted. For the first time, the jury wasn't just questioning Rebecca. They were questioning Jason, too. Then came the shocker. A surprise witness was called, a former colleague of Jason's. She testified that Jason once bragged, "Rebecca would do anything for me, even kill." The gallery fell silent. Rebecca stared at Jason with cold, burning eyes. Jason shook his head, whispering, "She's lying." But the damage was done. As testimony mounted, Jason's confident facade began to crack. At one point, he lashed out, "You're all trying to pin this on me." "She did it, not me." Rebecca laughed bitterly. The same woman, once willing to risk everything for him, now watched his downfall with satisfaction. The prosecution called it the perfect storm of obsession, betrayal, and murder. The retrial was far from over, but as the evidence stacked higher against both of them, one thing became clear. This case was no longer just about a teacher who killed her husband. It was about whether the lover she risked everything for was the true mastermind, and the next revelation would change everything. The retrial spiraled out of control. Rebecca accused her lover Jason of masterminding Daniel's murder. Jason denied it, and then a witness claimed Jason once bragged, "Rebecca would do anything for me, even kill." Now the jury must decide who was the true killer and who was the puppet master. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation as final arguments began. Prosecutors painted Rebecca as the jealous wife, enraged by exposure, who carried out the crime, but they also pointed the finger at Jason, saying his manipulation turned Rebecca into a weapon. Daniel's family clung to every word, desperate for justice. Rebecca Harris, once silent, took the stand. Her voice shook as she admitted, "I snapped, but I wasn't alone. Jason pushed me. He said Daniel stood in the way of our future, and I believed him." Jason slammed the table. "Lies, she's lying to save herself." The judge ordered silence, but the damage was done. For the first time, both defendant and witness were fully exposed. Then came the bombshell. Forensic analysts revealed deleted texts recovered from Jason's phone. One message, sent just days before the murder, read, "He won't be a problem much longer. You know what to do." The jury audibly gasped. Jason buried his head in his hands. Rebecca wept. After 3 grueling weeks, the jury returned. For Rebecca Harris, guilty of first-degree murder. For Jason Miller, guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. Rebecca sobbed uncontrollably. Jason shouted, "This is wrong. I never killed him." But the gavel came down. The once perfect teacher, the charming lover, both convicted. Rebecca was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Jason received 40 years. For his role in orchestrating the crime, the courtroom erupted in tears. Daniel's family clutched each other, relieved and broken all at once. The judge summed it up with chilling clarity. This was not just a crime of passion. It was a crime of betrayal, and betrayal always leaves blood on both hands. This case wasn't just about murder. It was about obsession, deception, and the dangerous power of secrets. Rebecca thought she found love. Jason thought he found control, but in the end, they both found only one thing: prison walls that would close in forever. That's the conclusion of today's case. For more true crime stories where passion turns deadly and scandals unravel in shocking ways, subscribe to Murder Book 360, and remember, behind every secret, there's always a scandal waiting to be exposed.